Good evening. Good evening, and thank you for joining me. Share the video. I'm here to very strongly warn some unscrupulous businessmen and some of these very unscrupulous pharmaceuticals. Henry B. Family is joining me. Thank you for joining me. Throughout my lifetime, I have seen the way certain foreign nationals in our country operate. They believe they're well connected and they can use monies to manipulate our systems, our officials, to fight each other to the detriment of our country. Because when they do, they don't understand the implications. They just want to make money. That's all they're there for. Once they make their money, that's it. And tonight I'm upset because they've waged a media war using an all too familiar newspaper, Front Page Africa, of course. And I've said over and over, if Front Page does not mind herself, that business is going to die. Because when you allow a newspaper that Liberians consider one of the best, if not the best, to continue to be used as a launching pad by unscrupulous individuals, whether in the business of politics or in the business arena, you run the risk of being shut down under your own weight of bad journalism. We don't always have to come to correct Front Page Africa's wrong. We don't always have to come out here to tell Front Page Africa, here are the facts. It is their responsibility to balance their stories, investigate thoroughly before publishing any article that is nonsensical and serves only to undermine not only the government, but the Liberian people in their strives to be able to make progress, develop, and move forward. A lot of times people say, "Pablo, sometimes you sound like you're angry." Some things makes you angry. And some things are so stupid. Okay? Let me be very frank. I don't care whether you're sedition. This is not George Rias's government where people were manipulated. The bidding went to the highest payout. And I don't want to be specific about certain nationals, but they know themselves. They will buy their way into anything. They will pay any amount of money. They call themselves foreign businessmen, and they know themselves. They know themselves. I am reliably informed that, G2 Pharmacy is bidding alongside several other pharmaceutical companies in the country. You got G2 Pharmacy, you got Bante Pharmacy, you got Sheriff Pharmacy, you got Churchland Pharmacy, You got, which one am I leaving out? There are about 5 or 6 pharmacies, well-known, lucky pharmacy in this country. Are they enough to service 5.8 million people? I don't think so. But they will manipulate certain officials, launch an offensive against each other with the hope of bringing another company down so that this other company or pharmacy can go up. And in some cases, they want one pharmacy expelled. Do you know what it will cost us as a nation? Forget about the government. We are all around here looking for drugs. We can't find it. And these 5 pharmacies, G2 Pharmacy, Lucky Pharmacy, Panther Pharmacy, Sheriff Pharmacy, Churchill Pharmacy, they cannot provide for us. We got 15 counties in this damn country. For God in heaven's sake. And it pains me because they are going after one pharmacy that came from the back and made its way to the top. And now they're going after that one pharmacy to bring that pharmacy down. I am Eugene Fagon. Before I put my mouth in anything, I will make sure I will investigate to the letter. I will go for every document. I'll put it out one by one. From minutes to reports to everything. I will bring all before I open my mouth in anything. And I am appalled, very appalled, by this media blitz ignorantly perpetrated against G2 Pharmacy. And I have the facts before me. And what made me angry to come out tonight is because of what I read. And I'm prepared to answer. This is my phone. You can see it written there in an ANC chat room. With the headline, I've been following it. That is why ELBC, I say, will never be the same. Because they know they cannot bring their nonsense to ELBC. I don't take that mess. You know, from the day I told you one day, Fina called me. Fagon, where are you? You still sending the money? Very well. Please inform me that when people want EPS officer committed suicide, shot himself 3 times in the head. Of course, Fina will tell you, I told her not to bring that nonsense to me. What sense does it make that a man will shoot himself 3 times in the head? The first bullet you will slum and you wouldn't even know where you are. Doesn't make no sense. And this nonsense in this country must stop. Nobody bring that nonsense to my place. No. Because you're not going to just come say this thing about George Weah and then we'll go on air and say it about George Weah. No, we don't do that. We'll never do that. We'll ask you why. When did it happen? Where did it happen? Who were those involved? Do you have supporting documentation? Or do you have anything that supports your claim? All right, would you be willing for us to, after talking to you, talk to President Weah? That's how you do things. So when I read this tonight, I got upset. Very upset. And if an individual, I invited him to my office, he did not show up. We fought for where we are today. All of us. Some people walk in poo-poo water. Some people walk in the Sony way. Some of us sat down on our butt for hours, debating and eloquently selling the platform of His Excellency Joseph Numa Boakai. And any attempt by anyone in this government to undermine this government, you will get out. I don't care who you are, you will get out. And we'll come after you with full force. Now, let's get some facts here so that you understand why I am upset. You can know it says, breaking news. Official whistleblower messages hit the decks of the president against G2 Pharmacy. If this man beat all of you and got to the top, your fight to get to the top, and we the people will benefit. Because that's what they're thinking, that, oh, G2 Pharmacy is at the top, so let's bring him down. Or let's bring the pharmacy down. Well, fight to get to the top too. So here is what they wrote, July 30, 2025. His Excellency President Joseph Numa Parker, President of the Republic of Liberia. I bring you greeting from the Liberian Medicines and Health Products Regulatory Authority. Your Excellency, this is a whistleblower and call for attention. No Liberian will write like this. I know that for a fact. It says, Your Excellency, you requested a report regarding the information as published in the Front Page Africa headline, the board resolution of revocation, the board resolution of revocation of G2 importers license for importers of substandard medicines, period. The report currently submitted by LMHR Managing Director has just been prepared and cooked for your hearing, but is far from reality and truth. First of all, I pause right there. Whoever wrote that is stupid. We are a country of laws. The board of directors cannot revoke or suspend anybody's license. You have to understand that every government entity has an act. All right? You cannot revoke. The board does not have the authority. All right? So, let's get this straight first of all. You see right here? The Act clearly states in Chapter 3, all right, states the offenses, the penalties, and I will bring you right here because we need to be very fair with our people. The authority, you see my penmanship? The authority to revoke or suspend license is in the act of the LMHR. It's not the board's function. And that nonsense that happened, I will not say all, but when I get angry, I will push it out. Because that person who did that is just as stupid as you who writing this nonsense. Now, it says, LMHR Act. I'm quoting. You who say you're a whistleblower, you don't quote, you don't write anything for the president to go and check. LMHR Act, Part 4, Section 2.1, and 5th paragraph, 3C. Let me repeat that. LMHR Act, Part 4, Section 2.1, 5th paragraph, 3C, grant the authority to issue and suspend license expressly in the managing director's hand, not the board of directors. Not the board of directors. And that is the act of the LMHR. I quoted that to you. So, when board chairman, I don't want to go in that far. I will start. This is my government. This is my government. And what you people are doing serves to destroy our government. Because at the end of the day, when you all follow your Front Page Africa, which we know too well, imagine when they say ANC, and you probably got nonsense in ANC chat room, who already know where Rodney CA is with Kumis. We know that. But don't mess around our government. Let me go to the second part again. Let me go to the second part. You say the report on the ADR reaction was conducted and the findings submitted to the Department Inspectorate for Post-Marketing Surveillance, and formal complaint was written to the LMHR Hearing Board for investigation. There was no damn complaint written. After they found these things out, then they referred the case to the board for investigation, to the hearing board for investigation, which of course I have all the documents here. Now, you came up and said that the findings from the hearing board contains 236 facts. You are absolutely correct. With each labeling violation of each packaging as stated in the LMHR Act of 2010. No, you're wrong. Each violation got an administrative penalty of 500 USD, resulting to 118,000 USD. Do you know why they appointed Luke Barrow? Because he's a smart guy. That nonsense said because the label was not on one package, and or one pack of the drug, because the label was not on one pack, and they found 236 packs without a label on it, each pack should constitute 500 US dollars. It's again stupid. Because when you have the power to fine somebody 180, then why the court even exists in our country? But that's beside the point. The point here is I must be able to prove to you something different as to what the act says. Okay? So let's go. The act, again, the law of LMHR. In chapter 3, I'm not like you. You don't quote, you don't study, you don't research, you don't do a damn thing. All you do is try to destroy our country because you got small money. Chapter 3, offenses and penalties. In keeping with part 8, section 1, 2, and 3 of the Authority Act of 2010, the following measures shall apply. Now, I will go down to the third part that has to do with penalties. Any person, institutions, corporate entities, their designees, or legal representatives who contravenes any provisions of this regulation shall be subjected to a regulatory fine not less than 3,000 United States dollars and not more than 5,000 United States dollars on first offense. Upon repeat, the perpetrator may, in addition to criminal sanction, forfeit the permit. You guys who come into our country, manipulate stupidness, run to the press, fight your battle, we will not allow you to destroy our government. This is the law. The penalty is there. When you commit that, they don't go to pack. It's labeling of a particular drug that was not done in English. So, the people were fined by the same act of stupidity, $118,000. Whereas the law says you can't do that. It cannot be less than 3,000. It cannot be more than 5,000. This is the law. So, I said to you again, look in the recommendation of the report which I have here. Let's get the recommendation. There it is. Here is right there. Right there, here it is. I highlighted it. You can see the monetary value right there. The board in its judgment, the investigatory board, in its judgment decided that 118,000 will drive away our customer. And so they fined G2, it's right here in the report, $10,000. G2 appealed, citing the law. The managing director looked at it. It was the law, as I read. It cannot be less than 3,000. It cannot be more than 5. G2 Pharmacy appealed that their business has been suffering hit recently because of the same nonsense. Now we'll come to the wrongful death. Because I got other political things to talk about. And so, the appeal was considered. He runs the day-to-day activities of the place. He understands what our country is going through. And the appeal was granted. And I also have the receipt as well as the invoice of the payments that they made. Contrary to what was carried on in the newspaper, that the people pay only 1,000. The politics in this country is just stupid. This is it right here. The whole 9 yards. So let's look at it. Here is the invoice. Here is the total amount paid. Should I highlight it? Because I don't want to waste my highlighter right here. They paid 1,500 right down there. There it right here. 1,500. Contrary to the 1,000 published. And the request for that 1,500 is here from the finance officer. He said, Eugene, you are pretty much upset. Yes, I am. Because after examining the facts, in the report, let me read the other part that says the report was not supposed to be signed. Who writes a report without signing it? Who does that? You call yourself a whistleblower. Or they wrote a report and the managing director manipulated them to sign. He did not have to manipulate anybody to sign. When you write a report, you sign your goddamn report. And you say, I wrote this report. That's why you sign. What do you people want to do to our country? What do you people want to do to G2 Pharmacy? What? Find another way. But don't bring our government into disrepute by attacking our officials wrongfully. And I will speak to the president about this. Because yes, I saw the communication from, I'm not going to call names, and they signed it, ascribing unto themselves a power that they don't have, that they are not supposed to execute, bringing our government into disrepute. Now they accuse the people of selling fake drugs. Again, I take it me, I don't do the same. Here is the report. Right here, from the investigation, this right here is the findings. Findings and what? Decision. Discussion. Findings and discussion. Right there. It was very clearly illustrating, as I highlighted, that, quote, while the hearing has agreed that the implication of the charge that, quote, fatality resulted from administration of the subject vaccine, or you can say vaccine, is a drug for anesthesia, may be over-conclusive. That is what confuses people who call themselves educated. Go and look up the word over-conclusive. Just like you say overstated. Over-conclusive means excessive, exaggerated, not exact. Go and Google it. They did not only stop there, they went in to say, they were very clear. I'm going to find the place in one of the documents where they were emphatic. Here it is. In the minutes of the document, these are official documents. And I'm going to read verbatim quote. Thank you. It was also established, I'm quoting, it was also established that it was not proving whether it was the bullpen vaccine that caused the fatality. It was also not proving. Now, you have a smart man like Dr. Bowen. He knows that they are discussing the labeling of drugs. And you want him, who is not a pathologist, did not send the body of the victim for pathological examination to say, let the pathologist examine this body and see the cause of death. You want him to conclude? You think he's stupid like you? You think he's uneducated like you? That's not his place. That's not his place. He did not examine the body. So it would have been inaccurate, incorrect, unprofessional, unethical, and more so ignorant to determine that the victim, the alleged victim, or the individual died from this drug. That's not his place. So the investigators from the minutes of their meeting, the inspectorate meeting, we run a responsible government. Big people government, not children government. So let me warn you, unscrupulous foreign businessmen. This is not the previous government. This is not the previous government. This is a government of professionals, learned people. This is a government of patriots. This is a government of people determined to chart a new course for their country. The next time I have to talk about this matter, I will pinpoint some of you and I will discuss you to the president. Because I have all the evidence of those that are trying to undermine our government and undermine the institution. I have it, and don't push me. A managing director of the LMHR cannot be the one making a determination on the cause of death of an alleged victim. No. A board of directors cannot be the one suspending or revoking licenses. The fine cannot be $118,000 for an offense of not labeling a drug. And the LMHR does not have the authority to fine below 3,000 or above 5,000. So what the hell are you people talking about? And you manipulate a few individuals within the system. I'm calling on Luke Bowen. If you signal out anybody that is connected to this nonsense, weed them out of the system. This is not CDC government. This is not CDC versus UP. I'm not going to dignify the part he wrote to the president that Luke Bowen firing LNHR employee and hiring sedition. Luke Bowen, he don't like UP people. You think that's what swayed the president? The president is not here for who UP and who CDC. Our president is about what is right. So you get that nonsense to him, he don't even pay attention. Because he knows that he got people that he put in places that can do the job. And those of you in the pharmaceutical industry, let me warn you. Keep paying. Pay well. But when we grab you, we expel you from this country. And if we don't expel you, if you know the power of my voice in this country, I'll destroy your pharmacy if you attempt to destroy my government. Let me be clear with you. Because this nonsense running all around, now you see the proof. I'm not writing, I'm quoting what the law says. And I'm giving you references. So I cannot be like you. We run a responsible government. A government of professionals. Don't try that nonsense again. And I will pause for now because the second time I will be calling names. I will be calling names. Now, let me leave this and talk some politics while I relax. First, let me say thank you to Tiaun Gonglo for acknowledging what the president did today. And he said this is what we've been advocating for. So, our friends then, from the other side, start posting. Shall we have the first to suspend it? Everything. Shall we have the first? So for me, I asked the question. Did he suspend it? Did it work? It's just like the project. Everything, all that we have started where? Another ignorant group of people posted that the Japan freeway was only meant to be 2-lane road. And that it was Jowia who sent Mabudu Vlan Nipa to go sign phase 2 of the project. That's when you know that some seditions are beyond stupidity. I repeat, some seditions are beyond stupidity. If you say that Mabudu went to sign phase 2, it means the project was in phases. Phase 1, phase 2, maybe phase 3. So if you say phase 2, it means phase 1 was completed. So he had to go and sign phase 2, meaning the project was in phases. Phase 1, phase 2. And you're stupid enough to go post that kind of thing? That Joey went to go sign phase 2. He didn't want to make phase 2. It means he was not the originator of that project. The same we have today. Every project around here that Joshua started it, when you ask them when, they got no time. or he negotiated it. It's just like Samuel 12 taking 27 million people out of poverty. Yet our whole population is about 5.7 million people. It's just like him, Samuel 12 again, signing the electricity deed until 2029. And you ask him when he signed the deed. No World Bank DK and see the even the sales here or so. What kind of life is this? What kind of life is this? You could do it, you didn't do it. You started it, you didn't start it. It was your project, but we never saw it. It was your road, nobody can ride on it. What kind of nonsense is this? You know, Liberians, in 2 years from now, we'll not be talking. We'll only be showing you what's happening. The world has advanced. It's gone. Also, you who are close to some of these people, take time. Because they're evil. Two things happen here. The other day I had a lady dragging me on Facebook for one Madam Kamara business. How the president celebrated 26 and Kamara never fed her children. Kamara this and that and the other. Madam Kamara, she started raising money for the people. I'm talking about Vicky Peshiba Wia. I call her, she herself took down all her teenagers. This woman who wrote that comment that she ran with is a CDC militant, well off, who milked the past administration. So what I did, I just went to the lady page, took all the lady picture and sent it to her. And then referenced her there. And she came back, she said, no, I can't give her the money. I'm suspending this. Because we don't ask questions, we don't investigate. When the situation occurred between the Fula lady wearing the linga and the police officers, everybody had a say. For me, I chose not to talk. But I watched the demonstration. It was the Fulanese who were seditionists that launched that. They saw a window of opportunity to take advantage of the situation and exploit the situation. Only for them to go find all of them pictures in there, parade them from the CDC side. Whereas Fulanese from the other side were asking what really happened. How did it happen? Why did it happen? What can we do to fix it? But the sedition saw an opportunity to demonstrate, be loud, cause all kind of traffic jams and problems. At the end of the day, what happened? I said linga. Then we saw another Muslim lady, this time wearing the hijab. You got to know the difference between the two. When they cover their face, it's the linga. When the face is shown but the head is covered, it's called the hijab. So this other lady today was wearing the hijab and crying. Are they going to come out tomorrow to demonstrate? No. When people commit a crime or when something happened, we need to take our time, take a step back, take a deep breath, and then look into it. Rather than trying to plunge our country into religious bickering, and, bigotry. Now, I haven't talked for a long time. It doesn't mean I'm not watching carefully. The other day I wanted to ask Amarakone, Senator Amarakone. I wanted to ask him whether he was working for the what should I say? Whether he was working for some foreign government or whether he was working in Liberia. I really wanted to ask him. Like I said, I haven't talked for a long time. Because the last time I checked, there were 3 separate branches of government. But all 3 work together collaboratively for the proper functioning of the unitary state, which is Liberia, the government. But every time he writes, he seems to suggest that his friends are not paying attention to this, to that, the other, like he's outside of the government. Like he's not a senator. Like he should not be blamed for anything. Like he's innocent. And he's not working with the government. I'd like for Senator Amarakone to know today that he is part and parcel of this government. And if it fails, he fails. He is a senator. He works in the legislative branch of this government. And his cardinal functions include legislation, the provision of oversight, and of course, representation of his people. So while he finds all the problems and writes about it, his failure to provide legislation, provide oversight, and provide representation of his people does not in any way exclude him from the government. Absolutely not. So people that are close to Senator Kone, tell him, stop writing like you don't work in the government and start writing like you are part of the government. Another thing I want to state is this. We need to stop acting like religion owns Liberia. Religion does not own Liberia. It doesn't. While we condemn the pulling of the linga from the head of that lady in the strongest possible terms, we should not tolerate crimes hidden behind religion. We should not. We should not. And I mean what I said. So that a bishop cannot commit a crime and say, I'm wearing my robe. Or a rabbi with his cap on. We need to be careful. And we need to send a strong message that if you are religious, then remain religious. But if you commit a crime, religion will not cover you. We need to be very clear. We need to be very clear. You cannot wear a linga or a hijab and attack somebody. I'm not saying that was the case. Because if you do, there's going to be a fight. And when the fight ensues, there's going to be something that will be unacceptable to your religion. So let's be mindful. You can't be a bishop, attack somebody, and go hide behind the pulpit. Let's be careful. Let's be careful. I wrote a question. Anybody can go to my page. 95% of the people said, if this was in America, the lady would have been dead. See the difference? Go there and read it. So, we should not. Another thing I was hastening to add. People's talking about, oh, the private sector, JMB bringing in petroleum products. We'll even bring rice, don't worry. The days of exploiting our people are all but gone. You can sell, we can sell. You can bring rest, we can bring rest. This is our government. So let God bless all of you, and you all have a pleasant good night. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you.